Hey y'all, this is JR, one half of the R&B representative. Shout out to my sister Natalie Elise. And this is the 30th episode of JR's Motown Life. Now, the song that I will be discussing on this episode is Barrett Strong's Money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's that's what I want. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Classic record. Now, it was written by Barry Gordy and Janie Bradford, and it was produced by Barry Gordy. Now, this was actually the first hit song from Motown, and it became the Motown that we know to this day. And with this being the last JR's Motown Life, I'm gonna give y'all all the behind the scenes action on how this song became to be and why it ended up being the first commercially big single from Motown. So let me give y'all a little bit of history, a little bit. So let's start this off. So Motown was founded January 1959, obviously by Barry Gordy, and the first song released from the label was "Come to Me" by Marv Johnson. And it didn't really do anything. It really didn't make too much noise. So six other songs were released for the label, and that didn't do anything either. So, this is a new label, so they're trying to get something to hit. So this is a time where labels, everybody collaborated and everybody. So this was just one day that Barry Gordy, Barrett Strong, Janie Bradford, and other people that was kind of around, they was at the piano. And, Barry's writing techniques were he would ask a question and then you will answer the question and it will kind of give him an idea for a song. So there, Barry Strong is, vocalizing and Barry's on the piano and everybody's around. And he said, "What do people want?" And Janie said, "Money. That's what I want." He said, "Ooh, bingo. That's a good song. Wait, you got something there." So he ended up doing the first verse and the third verse. And Janie, who was also the secretary at Motown, did the second verse. Because Barry had the first and the third, and she did the second verse, right? So they wrote the record, everything was cool. So now the musicianship comes into play, right? So at the time, there's no Funk Brothers. Motown is new. Barry was struggling to get musicians, but he had some that was there. So after the song was written, you had Barrett Strong, who played the bluesy piano riff that comes in, right? Then you have Brian Holland that comes in with the tambourine. Then you had uh, Benny Benjamin that came in on the drums. And then they were playing this, and they had this musician that was walking by, and he saw that they were jamming. So he walked in and was like, "Yo, can I jam with y'all?" And he actually played guitar on the record, and this was Eugene Grew. So now they all playing on the record. Barry produces the record and then he releases the record. He released it on Tamla and it got a great response. It was huge. It was like around the area. It got big. But Barry didn't have any distribution yet. So his sister Anna had uh Anna Records, who had a distribution with Chess. So he leased the record to Anna so it can get distributed by Chess and have more of a big exposure. And when it did, it hit and it hit. Now they talk about the whole payola thing and all of that good stuff, but listen, that's what goes down, and they do it now. So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? But after that, the record gets big and it puts Motown out there. Now you got musicians and artists want to come to this label because of this hit. And if it wasn't for money, where would Motown be? Never know. But it's some fun facts with this song. So Barrett Strong did this record, and then he did some more records that really didn't hit. So he left in 1961. But he came back and he ended up partnering up with Norman Whitfield, and they became the songwriting duo. You know what I mean? Especially after Holla Doja Holland leaves. And they had the hits from Marvin Gaye, Gladys Knight and the Pips, The Temptations, and War. and ended up becoming a big songwriter, even though he had the first hit song for Motown. He's known more as a songwriter than a singer. Ain't that crazy? And then Benny Benjamin, who played the drums on there, he ended up becoming one of the leaders of the Funk Brothers. So, that we know today, like Jack Asford, God, bass player. God, why am I suck? This is terrible. The last JR Motown life, and I'm sucking with this. And he's the best bass player ever. Oh my God, this is terrible. But yes, y'all know who I'm talking about. Just put it in the conversation. James Jameson. Thank you. How can I get it? Yes. And yeah, and we got the legendary Funk Brothers. So Benny Benjamin was there from the beginning. You know what I mean? So he became one of the leaders, and we got the Funk Brothers. And then Brian Holland, who ended up getting with his brother Eddie and Lamont Dozier, and they created Holla Doja Holland, my favorite songwriting and producing team at Motown. So it's a lot of fun facts and a lot of things that came with this record, but this record is a big, big deal. You know what I mean? So there were so many people that really covered this record, but all we want to hear is the original version by Barrett Strong, and that's just what it is. And I'm so glad that Motown really became big because it became a big part of my life, and that's why I, wanted to start this series off talking about Motown, because Motown is a lot of firsts for me. So that's why it's my favorite label of all time, and I have a really connection with it. And that's why I wore this shirt, South Carolina State University, because when I was introduced to Motown, my mom was going to this college. So, I got a lot of firsts with Motown. My first time I ever heard Gladys Knight, and she sung Neither One of Us, which was one of those as part of JR's Motown Life that I did. The first song that I ever learned was with my mom, and she taught me Marvin Gaye and Tammy Sorrell, If I Can Build My Whole World Around You. The first book that I read at 5, going into 6 years old, was Mary Wilson's The Life of a Dream Girl. So I learned a lot about Motown, and it was a lot of firsts. So that's why Motown will always be number one for me. I love it. It's really why music is what it is today. Motown is not just Black history, it's American history. So I hope you guys really enjoy this series, because we're on to the next label, and the label that I will be talking about is Stax. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the JR's Motown Life, and I will see y'all on the other side in Memphis, Tennessee for JR's Stack Life. And I will see y'all. Peace.